Thanks for downloading the latest episode of The Ugly Truth. Today, Paula and I are a little bit of hodgepodge today. We're talking about how Daryl pulled my hair and I didn't like it. We're talking about an insane custody battle going on in Kansas, plus some epic Ugly and Awkward Moments of the week. All of this and a lot more. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie.
And you all have your weird shit or you wouldn't be listening to this show.
Paula.
You're fucking on, motherfucker.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode 432.
That was my Mariah Carey / Keisha. You know what? The kids and I are so funny.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I know we are.
You
that
are.
Keisha
actually.
Song, Praying. You know, she's all, there's only certain things that God can forgive.
Praying. Yes.
So Ryan and his friends last year, this was before their voices were changing. He said at lunchtime, sometimes they would joke around and try and do their highest note, like when they were singing that song. Yeah. So then now, like, Olivia will do it. She's like, some things only God can forgive. And then she just screams. Then she's like, ah! And I'm like, Olivia, I'm like, stop it.
You're screaming. That's not singing.
And then Ryan will like plug his ear and he's like, so we all sit around and try and do it. But
you did that so loud that your mic cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's probably a good thing. No one wants to hear that.
No, every time I hear that, I always think of the Mariah Carey where Stephanie specifically tried to get up there, man. She tried so hard.
Oh, we all used to do that. I was just going to say, we all used to do that.
We couldn't do it.
No one can.
We tried so
Doesn't
hard.
she have like a deformity in her throat or something?
She does. She's like, it's like, I don't know, it's something insane, but she gets it from her mother. And I think her mom was an opera singer or something. I don't remember.
No
but she comes from some genetics that can do a lot of really cool shit with her voice. But we do not.
You know what? I bet you guys that date her probably think, I bet she gives the best blowjobs. And I'm just like, calm down.
Come on.
She's a good singer. It doesn't mean her throat's like a miracle worker.
Right. It's not a cave in there. Come on. And by the way, newsflash, most men don't have chodes that will choke you, okay? Most of them are not. Most of them are pretty below average. I've encountered a couple that are significant, but that's it.
Well, you have the gag reflex problem, so you only
bad.
You only allow yours to go past a certain point. I mean,
Paula, I have had sex with many men, and I'm telling you, I've given them all the service, and only 2 have ever made it impossible to do it. Only 2.
You should see me brush my teeth. I basically scrub my tonsils, and nothing happens. So
Are you working out?
Yeah, really. I'm trying to give myself a cheap thrill in the morning.
I'm ready.
Yeah, really. Sometimes I'm
Ready.
just trying to. I've even actually had guys request that I gag. I try and like make myself.
That's so porny. I hate that shit. Speaking of, okay, total side note, but Daryl and I were talking about Reno because we're going to have a really good time. You and I are going to see Sebastian Maniscalco next month.
Are you suggesting that I'm going to be giving a blowjob in Reno somewhere?
Well, when you say it like that.
Jeez.
No, but I did tell Daryl, I'm like, God, I go, is it weird that I'm hoping my sister will score? Like, I'm really hoping she finds some hot guy.
I don't sleep with randos. I never have.
Paula, you need to get laid.
I've never had a one-night stand in my entire life.
Well, maybe tonight's the night. Maybe Sebastian will get you all hot and bothered.
Yeah, it's going to be the one time and I'll get freaking herpes.
Stop.
I'm not doing it.
Stop. All right. I was just saying, I was pulling for you that you would meet something.
And then I'd hate you for the rest of my life. And then I'd have to be on like the herpes dating site, like, you know.
The herpaderp.
Herplove.com.
Herpaderp.com, where you can be yourself, even in your flare-ups. All right. Speaking of something not pleasant, a couple days ago, dead asleep. And you know, here's the thing. I don't sleep very well. I don't know too many women who do sleep well, honestly. I mean, age is not a factor. Women just don't sleep well. And I just think
I don't sleep at all. So,
and life. Yes, I know. I don't even know how you function, to be honest with you.
I take naps a lot during the day. See, here's my problem is that mentally I'm starting to go to bed earlier.
Good. Oh, I'm so glad.
Mentally, but I'm still staying up till 3 a.m. So
yeah, but it's an improvement.
By 11 p.m., I'm like, okay, I really should start thinking about going to bed.
Just turn everything off, maybe. It's hard, though, because I used to do the same thing.
But then I have all my little habits because I'm just like, okay, I'll turn. I really need to get rid of the 20 times mirror. It's a problem.
Bring it over. Give it to me. Just get rid of it. If you can't stop picking your face.
It's just not my face, Jamie. It's everything. If you magnify your entire body, your leg, your back, your hip, I mean, there's things everywhere.
Look, no secret. We have OCD. Some of us can control it with medication. Some of us control it with behavioral cognitive therapy. And some of us just choose not to control it. I've done really well with my OCD for a long time because of therapy. But a new OCD thing popped up about 2 months ago. And I'm kind of wigging.
What is it?
It's so dumb. It all started, I was triggered, and I know everyone hates that word, but I was triggered. I was at my daughter's cafe, and both of my daughters work at this French cafe. It's amazing. The food is delicious. Well, my younger daughter has really super long hair, and the boss said, you have to braid your hair. You can't have your hair free flowing. This is a restaurant.
Right.
You got to put it up.
It's a health thing. Otherwise, he's probably going to make her wear a hairnet.
Well, some of them do. So she came over and she's like, Mom, can you quickly braid my hair? And I said, of course. Now we're sitting at the bar having breakfast and a mimosa, supporting the local business. And I start braiding her hair. Well, of course, I got hair in my food because of her. So I ate it.
But
immediately.
You ate the hair?
On accident, yeah. So hair in my food is like, it's been my thing for years. I hate it when...
Well, Jamie, nobody likes hair in their food.
No. So it got in my mouth. Oh, I'm trying really hard not to just throw up. So ever since then, every time I eat something where the potential of hair could be in my food, I can't eat it. And it goes, it's not just, it wasn't the cafe didn't do it. I did it to myself. So we'll be at home and I'll take a bite of something that's kind of casserole-y and I immediately think there's going to be hair in it, so I can't eat it. So now I'm literally eating things that there's no way there can be hair in it, like crackers or cheese or individual bite things. I can't eat things that are in a bowl or on a plate. Now, it's not that bad. I'm not like withering away or anything, but the problem is it's always on my mind. So I went to a restaurant and ate something. There was no hair in it at all, but I was sure there was. I spit the food out. I'm like, okay, I need to
you're
deal
turning
with this.
into mom. That's bad.
No, I'm not.
Spitting your food out. Mom does that stuff. She'll take a bite and she's like, oh God. And then she'll spit it into a napkin for no reason.
Because
it's
it didn't
perfectly
taste good
food. Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's OCD. It's a new thing. And so I'm working on it. I really am.
I'm not going to lie. When I have food that's kind of busy, I struggle. But mine is not just, it's specifically, I'm terrified I'm going to find beard hair or pubic hair. I don't know why.
Okay, so this is not,
No, it's not new. I just like spaghetti, salads.
Oh my God.
Cheeseburgers. It's just, I don't know if it's because
getting anxiety.
You just can't see it or because it's so busy or it's got like strainy things in it.
You get blindsided. Like the thing I ate the other day had prosciutto in it and it was so good. But when prosciutto falls apart, it can get stringy. And so I was certain it was hair. It wasn't. It was prosciutto. And it was delicious, by the way. But I couldn't eat it. I literally took the whole thing home and then ended up throwing it away 2 days later. I'm like, I can't eat this.
I just think when you take a bite out of a cheeseburger and you pull away, I'm always afraid you're going to see like a half of a something. And I'm just like, I can't deal with that. I don't
know how people deal with it.
How people live. But see what's wrong with us. We wonder how people live and they're thinking of us. How can you not eat a fucking cheeseburger? Like what's wrong with you?
I cut everything in fourths so I can see if there's hair in it. I'm the worst. Okay, so
this is only going to get worse as we get older, Jamie. We're just going to end up eating chocolate pudding from Poughkeepsie.
It's Mexico. I'll do it. I will do it. Here's the thing. I talk to any therapist who deals with people who have OCD, and they'll tell you this. You're only as cured as you're willing to be, okay? If you are happy with what you're doing, there's nothing more to say. As long as you're not unable to live, if you have OCD and it's not some weird thing, fine. Then you accept that you do this occasionally. And, and I hope there are people listening out there realize we are not unusual. Hello? There are a lot of people who have shit like this. Hello? A lot. Picking your face to bleeding. The hair in your face. It is what it is. And you all have your weird shit or you wouldn't be listening to this show. So there you go.
I'm not too upset when it's like food stuff because I just view it as like, a different type of diet or a way to lose weight. So
yeah,
I'm okay with that. I was just thinking, I'm like, can you imagine the four of us in front of a therapist? Like
Paula, I went to a therapist once and it was for my child. And I came for a second visit because he was underage at the time. And he looked at me. He goes, have you ever thought about writing a book with a doctor? And I said, no. And I've had that happen more than once. More than once, I've had a therapist ask if I'm willing to write a book.
I have thought about writing a book just for the purposes of vomiting it all out.
To get rid of it, right?
Right. And I was actually thinking I would just write each individual as a chapter. Yeah. Yeah. But Mom would just have an absolute conniption fit and she would think everything is distorted facts and
she'd have to be dead, Paula. We couldn't do this with her living.
I know.
And here's the thing. I told her, I said, another therapist suggested that I write a book about my life and my childhood. And she's like, Jamie Lynn, if you do that, I will literally disown you. She's like, you can't bring shame on this family.
Well, see, for you, that's a legitimate threat. If she said that to me, I'd be like, Mom, then what is that? We eliminate the one visit a year.
Right? I know, it's true.
Which is funny because she says she doesn't remember anything about the hospital. I'm like, well, there went my whole week of visit for the 1 year.
There goes my one investment in repairing my relationship.
My one decent good deed where I actually felt bad. And she doesn't remember. And I'm just like, well.
Actually, she does remember. She remembers a lot. She remembers you being there every single night for a week straight.
I thought you said she didn't remember anything.
No, she does remember you being there. She remembers certain things. She remembers you being there every night. She remembers you taking lots of notes. She remembers you interacting with the nurses. She remembers the first night she entered ICU and Stephanie just blew the house down. Oh. She remembers all of that. She remembers all of that.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't feel so bad. I thought you when you said she didn't remember anything, I'm like, well, that doesn't surprise me.
What she doesn't remember was before the surgery. She was in the hospital for 2 days before the surgery, and she remembers not one moment of it at all. Because all she remembers is when me and Stephanie told her that her scans came back clear and she didn't have cancer. That's all she remembers from before the surgery. After that, she remembers a lot of the ICU, but it does kind of, when you're in that kind of stupor, you don't remember every minute.
Gosh, she was just so out of it.
Anyway, look forward to the book in about 20 years when our mom finally leaves this earth. But until then,
she's going to outlive us all.
So until then, we have the podcast, and we'll just drop innuendos of how traumatic our lives were. So the other night, it was about a week or so ago, in the middle of the night, I wake up to excruciating pain. Daryl has turned over, and under his arm was my hair. So when he went to turn over, he put his elbow down to like flip himself and he didn't rip it out, but he pulled my hair so hard I woke up in the dead sleep, and all I remember is I woke myself up going, ow! I didn't even realize I was doing. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Why were you guys sleeping that close?
Because we sleep in a queen size bed. And sometimes, and
Victor and I did too, but my God, there was a good child length between us if necessary.
Normally there is, but sometimes Daryl is a chronic snuggler, and sometimes he'll reach over when I'm sleeping and get it in because he knows my idea of snuggling in bed is a pinky.
No,
holding pinkies is my idea of snuggling, and even then is like 10 minutes.
There can be no breath near me.
The problem really, he's conditioned it because when he comes in and snuggles with me, it doesn't take more than 2 minutes before he's like, so I want to do other things to you. And I'm like, it is 3 a.m. I am exhausted. Go to sleep.
You know what? Be grateful, Jamie, because a lot of guys can't do that, or they will. But I mean, they're just like, well, we just did it yesterday. And I'm like, so? I'm just like,
I know.
Geez, do you already need the blue pills? You're only in your 30s.
Right. And so saying ow, and he's like, I'm so sorry. And then without a beat, 5 seconds later, he's like, please don't cut your hair. Because he's like, is it too long? And I'm like, no, it's not too long. You were just too freaking close. And my hair must have been like laid out on the mattress and you just snatched it. So I said, no, but I think this gives us a discussion about a king size bed.
No, don't do it.
We were having this discussion in Napa, and I forgot to tell you about it last week, so I had to tell you now. So we were having this drunken discussion about the hair pulling on accident and getting a king-size bed. And I said, hey, are we on a king-size bed right now? And he's like, no, I think this is a queen. And I said, we don't really need a king-size bed. And I said, we're really not very big people. We're not tall or pretty. We're not obese, so we don't really need a lot of room. And he goes, I can tell because we're like pretty much in the middle of the bed and our feet aren't hanging over. Whereas at our house, that can happen because queens are shorter. Mm-hmm. And I said, so he got up to do something. And I said, yeah, we don't really need a king size bed. And no, I won't cut my hair. We'll just, whatever. And he goes, yeah, we're not that big. And I go, we're practically midgets. He literally stopped in his tracks and bent over and was muttly laughing. He could not stop laughing. I said, well, it's true. I mean, we're small. I go, we are talking small people. And so for the rest of the weekend, it was like, can we get into the restaurant? No, they're booked. I go, tell them how tiny we are. Tell them we don't take up much room.
We can practically share a chair.
We are so small. And so anyway, it was really, I just wanted to tell you about it. It made me laugh.
I have a theory about king size beds.
You tell.
My first marriage, we had a queen for a long time. And then we moved into this one place and we treated ourselves to a brand new bed. Because I think the one we got originally, it was like given to us by relatives or something like that.
Relatives.
Well, you know how it is. It's just like, we've got an old guest bedroom
yes.
bed that you guys can have. So you lay on and it's all squeaky and it's hard.
And it's free. That's why you take it.
Still got pee stains on it. And,
oh, God. Yes.
From, probably some old person, not a child.
Person, right. Not a child.
Right. So we went all out. We bought this beautiful bed set from Macy's. It was a duvet cover with a nice, down comforter underneath. And we got this giant California king size bed that was like pillow top and all nice.
Fancy.
Shortly after we got that, the first night we slept in it, I looked over and I'm like, God, you're so far away. And he's like, isn't it great? And he spread all out and everything. I didn't like it because I'm just like, God, you're literally on your own country over there.
Yeah.
I felt like shortly after that, our marriage started to decline. Now, looking back, it wasn't the bed, obviously. There were other things going on. But I felt like it created some distance between us.
Yeah.
We only really came together, when we were going to be intimate. And then, but other than that, he was over there doing his own thing. I was over here doing my own thing. And then, that was it. You never get close enough to touch. You're literally worlds apart. And so I told myself after we divorced, I'm like, I will never own a king size bed. I just won't, because I don't ever want to be that far apart from a partner.
That is Daryl's number one concern, is that we'll get a king size bed and that we will not be close together.
You won't.
Yeah. And so when we are at a hotel, and most hotels have king size beds, it's fine, but I don't sleep any better. And I do feel weird that he's 2 feet away from me. It's 3 feet, actually. I mean, it's really far away.
It's really big.
Yes. And even with the comfort of a queen, we are sleeping close together, but it's not uncomfortable because we're not, like I said, unless you are a huge person, if you're really tall.
If you're like 6'2" and you're like, you know, pushing 300 pounds or something like that.
Sure, then I get it.
You can't sleep in a queen. That's different.
No, a queen.
But you're also probably going to take up more capacity in the bed, so you're going to be closer to the other person.
Exactly, and it's all logistics.
But when you're midgets like the two of you, then you don't need that big of a bed.
Do you think midgets sleep in twins? Do you think
like share?
Yeah.
Well, I've had sex in twin beds, so.
Well, yes, but I just meant, you know what? I've done that. I hate it. Well,
I've only done it when absolutely necessary.
Well, it's when you're young, you know, when no one's got any money and you're just sleeping in the bed you took from your childhood home.
Yeah, you know? Or, you know, you're staying at, dorms. You know, people's houses, you know, for freaking holidays, and, you know, someone's sleeping on the floor, someone's sleeping in the twin, and, you know, the kids are on the couch. And
there is nothing more uncomfortable than sex in a dorm room on a baby twin bed.
I'm just laughing when Sebastian said, he's like, you know, when everyone's just like, oh no, stay with us. He's all, you walk into a room, there's freaking Star Wars sheets and a booger wall, and
it's true.
And he's like, no thanks, we'll go home.
You know, with all of the things that women or that moms and dads go through when you have small children, I could never deal with the booger wall. Like, I never. It was so difficult.
When did that ever become an option?
Occasionally, children will wipe their boogers on the wall when they're in bed because they're not allowed to get up because they're taking a nap, or they had to go to bed at 8 and they're not tired yet. And then they just lay there and they dig in their nose and they wipe it on the wall. I had every single one of them, except for Malia, the baby, didn't.
Neither
but every
of
single
mine.
one of them did. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Neither one of mine ever did that.
Well, maybe they flicked it onto the carpet.
No,
like
they
men
just
do.
eat them. You know my kids. They're nose pickers. I don't know if they still do it, but I haven't seen it for a long time. But
so many jaw-clenching discussions this morning.
Oh.
Really struggling. I know the kids eat boogers. I never saw any of mine do it. God, maybe Malia was the booger eater. Maybe that's why there wasn't the wall.
Grown men eat boogers. You know it.
Paula, one time. Okay, so.
Don't wait. Wait. Before you say what you're going to say, don't disclose anything embarrassing.
Oh, no, I've never seen Gerald eat boogers.
Okay. Well, you're like, there was this one time, and I'm like, don't say it. Okay.
That man does not do that. I've seen him do many things, and he does not eat boogers.
You know, or like itch their butt and then smell their fingers or something like that.
First of all, if he does it, I've never seen it, and I never will. He knows what kind of person I am. He knows that there are deal breakers. He wouldn't do it. I don't think he would ever do it. But how many times have you ever done that?
What?
We're clearly going to have sex, and I'll go, have you washed your hands? He's like, what do you mean? I go, when was the last time you washed your hands? He's like, why? And he'll ask me why, and I'm like, well, I saw you resting your middle finger in your nostril while we were watching television, number one. And number two, you hold your penis when you pee. I don't want any of that near me. And I mean, naturally that's going to occur when we're having sex, but I want that off. I want you coming in clean like a surgeon.
He's probably about to finger you and then stab you with his wiener, and you want him to wash his hands?
Hands are filthy.
Olivia is absolutely the worst. I mean, touching her hands is like touching a gorilla's hands. It's just
she's like Ramona and Beezus, that little dirty child.
And so I asked her the other day, we were going to have pizza. And I said, Olivia, I'm like, did you wash your hands? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, when? She's like, well, I know I washed them yesterday. And I'm like, no. Olivia! I'm like, no. God! I'm like, go wash your hands. And then I'm having a problem with her. She is just so disgusting. Like, she burped really loud the other day. She farted in the hallway, and she thought it was hilarious. And so,
well, it is, but
yesterday I had an empty paper towel roll, and that's when she burped, and I smacked her with it. And I said, I'm going to write the word, the lady stick on here. And every time you do something gross, I'm going to smack you with it. I'm like, you will be a lady one day.
You got to send her to charm school.
I should make her walk around with a book on her head.
Hey, we had to. Do you not remember that?
No, I do. But it's just like, I'm just trying to get the, she won't even flush the toilet. I mean.
Why?
I think she's afraid of the noise. And I sympathize because I did the same thing. I flushed it.
Close the lid and run. That's what you do.
I flushed it, but I sprinted the hell out of there.
Yes, you got to get out of there.
Do you know the other night I went to go to the bathroom? She clogged the toilet so bad that it was almost overflowing. And she was.
Is it because of the amount of toilet paper, though?
Well, I wish that had been the case, but.
No, it was a log?
I tried not to look, but there was multiple things going on. Of course, she's dead asleep in her bed, and because
so you can't wake her up and go, "What is this?"
She unloaded before she went to sleep, and I'm just like, "Don't tell me you didn't know this was going on." So
what is going? Okay,
I walked out into the hallway, and Victor's like, "What's the matter?" He's like, "I thought you were going to bed." I'm like, "I have to get the plunger." I said, "Olivia decided that she wanted to, destroy the toilet before she went to sleep." Of course, he didn't offer to, help. So I'm in there plunging poop water by myself.
Obviously, this child did not get this from you. These genetics do not come from our side of the family.
Well, of course they don't.
We don't do that. I've never clogged a toilet in my life.
Not intentionally. I mean,
no.
The only problem we ever had, because Mom had the absolute worst plumbing. I mean, we had to flush 3 times mid-poop, and we're talking like pebbles. I mean...
We poop like rabbits. It's not...
Yeah.
It's not
like deer poop.
Well... I know. I don't understand. It's not like elephant crap. I don't know where she's getting this. Is it her diet?
She hardly eats anything.
Weird.
I don't know. You know how kids are. They have like the biggest poops ever.
It's strange, isn't it? Well, you know
and
what?
And of course, it's always at the store or, at Starbucks. I'm like, we left our house 3 minminutes ago. Or it's just like,
now
Olivia, it's time to do the dishes. A minute later, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, God damn it, go!
She's so funny. Okay, so I've heard a couple people talking about this story, but I wanted to see what you thought about it. Because in my mind, I had made a resolution the second I read it. I knew exactly what I would do if I was married to this unholy, terrible man. At first, I would be questioning how the hell that even happened. But... in Kansas, a man who is divorced his ex-wife and he are going through a custody battle. And the man is so furious and hateful that he has requested to settle a custody battle for trial by combat. And what that means is what he wants to do is he wants to fight till the death or until someone yells, I give.
Until they yell uncle.
Yes. Here's what it says. He said a man has asked an Iowa District Court in Kansas to grant his motion for trial by combat against his ex-wife to settle a custody battle. He said he would accept her attorney as her stand-in champion. David Ostrom, he's 40 years old, requested to meet his ex Bridget, 38, or a replacement fighter on the field of battle where he will rend their souls from their corporal bodies. To this day, trial by combat has never been explicitly banned or restricted as a right in these United States. As recently as 1818, he requested 12 weeks lead time to either source or forge his sword.
Oh, so he wants to have a sword fight?
That was going to be his weapon of choice. You can do whatever you want.
Can she bring
a rifle?
I was like, can she just bring like an AK,
Can this just be like Indiana Jones and just end it?
Or can she just like throw a grenade at him?
In my mind, if my ex-husband did that, I'd be like, Your Honor, I agree.
I'd be like, you're fucking on, motherfucker.
And I don't need a fucking champion. I will take you down, you crazy motherfucker.
I said, as soon as you raise your hand with that sword, prepare to have your wrist sliced off.
It's over.
And then what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I don't need 12 weeks. Let's go.
I will take a class in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and every other thing I can do, and I will waste your ass.
I will choke your ass out. Please, are you kidding? My blind fury, he would stand no chance. I don't care if he had a fucking sword. I'd kick that thing out of his hand so fast. I'd be like, you asshole. Let's go.
I'd claw his eyes out. I do that thing where you stick your thumbs into someone's eyes. I'd do it until they popped into his brain.
Fuck yeah.
I'd use those as bullets.
Not to mention, first of all, I don't know how this is resolved, but the second that he would have said that, the judge would have been like, the mother wins. You get no custody.
Yeah, really.
Like, it's over.
Wouldn't that be a sign of insanity?
Yes, it would, or just absolute rage that you basically want to illegally kill your ex-wife to get your children.
Although the minute the judge looked at me and I'd be sitting there with like a devious smile, I'd be like, bring it on.
Please. Well, I'm sure that the judge said absolutely not.
He'd probably be like, I'm having both of you in contempt and putting you in jail. Your child is being placed with a family member far removed from any of you.
Yes,
if I can find a sane one. Otherwise, it's going to foster care.
Yes. Well, my guess is that he did not get his. I don't know. I absolutely need to know what happened, but I couldn't find anything before we were recording. But my guess is the judge said absolutely not. You are crazy. You aren't getting any custody. Mother wins. Bye. We're done. And that would have been the end of it. But the fact, I would have immediately filed a restraining order and said he can't come anywhere near us with his sword. You know, I mean, in 12 weeks from now, he may have a sword that he may want to wield in my front yard. So
yeah, really?
Anyway, if I had had my way, though, I'd be like, Your Honor, I absolutely will do it.
You know what? If he did show up with his sword, I'd open the front door. I'd be like, yeah, let's have our duel in the living room.
Yes,
and then
I'll
I'd
shoot you.
Blow his
That's
fucking
fine.
head off.
Absolutely.
I shouldn't say things like that.
I know. It's Kansas. You can do anything in Kansas.
You know what? That just tells you. I mean, you know, you don't hear a lot about Kansas.
You
don't hear good things or bad things. Like Kansas is just like no land. So
I don't hear much. You're right. We don't hear much. So this is big news for them.
Well, it just kind of makes you wonder, what's going on in Kansas? What are they doing?
Well, apparently we have some very enthusiastic wielders in Kansas. All right. I don't know if we have. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
Ryan had been at his doctor because he hadn't been feeling well for a while. He had been pretty sleepy and he had some swollen lymph nodes. So the doctor thought he might have had mono.
Yes.
So he had to go get some blood work done, and he got the blood work done, I think, on Thursday. So we didn't get the results until Monday. The doctor called me on Monday and said, no, he doesn't have mono, so it must just be a virus. And so I'm like, oh, okay, good. And so I was going to call Victor to let him know that Ryan didn't have mono. So in my mind, I'm saying, oh, I need to call Victor to let him know that Dr. Grant called. So I pick up my phone, I hit, name, and then I hit send. It's like ring, ring, ring. And then all of a sudden the message comes up and it's like, this is Dr. Grant, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait, what? So I hung up. And then I've called Victor and I'm just like, I don't know why I just called Dr. Grant. And so then Dr. Grant calls me back and then he's just like, oh, I had a missed call from this number. I'm like, hi, Dr. Grant, it's Paula Todd. I'm like, I was trying to call Victor to let him know what you said, but instead I called you to let you know what you said about Ryan's blood work, but I didn't mean to. And so he's just like, okay. So
all right. And and he's so low key. He's like,
yeah, he's just like, all right. Yeah. He's like, what are those butt dial things or something? I'm like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So
he's funny.
I know.
That's embarrassing.
It just felt like I'm getting, and I told him, I said, well, I think I'm just getting old. He's like, well, it happens to the best of us.
So don't let the call in. Let's continue telling him how awkward you are.
I know. I should have just stopped and hung up, but us just keep, continuing the conversation.
Suddenly you're like, how's life?
You at lunch? What'd you have?
What's going on?
Looks like it's about 12.
Yeah.
It's about 12:30.
So good on the blood work, right?
Yeah, right.
Speaking of phone awkward moments, I had a significant awkward moment, and this isn't even my awkward moment. This just happened, but I wanted to tell you about it because it's fresh in my brain.
Yeah.
So the conversation I had with my hairdresser, Neil, about mom and how she's still in physical therapy, and she's got some nerve damage that's come up in her leg. And so I said, honestly, when something like that happens, your core and your back have to be super duper strong to accommodate or make up for the muscular issues that your nerves are causing in your leg. And he goes, yes, absolutely. And so he said, you know what? I have on Instagram, he goes, I have a lot of people I follow. They do these really tiny, like 4 and 5 minute core strengthenings. They're super low impact. I will send you the links to these accounts and then send them to your mom, because our mom has Instagram and it's the only social media she has. And I said, oh my gosh, thank you. Brilliant. So yesterday or the day before, he sent me a couple and I said, thanks. And so we're chatting and I said, oh, thank you so much. Now, the other thing is that we have in common is unlike you, I'm kind of fascinated with the British monarchy, the royals, and not just from current, like from long ago. Mm-hmm. And so he also follows the history of the British monarchy. So he sent me a link of a picture of not Queen Elizabeth, her mother, Queen Victoria, and how she had 6 ladies in waiting holding her cape when she would walk around the palace. Wow. And he goes, look at that. He goes, isn't that insane? And I go, yeah. Now, my hairdresser has a personal assistant who does a lot of his stuff for him outside of the shop that he works at. And so I said, yeah, I go, oh man, I go, that would be so cool. I go, but you only have Scott. And I laughed and I go, oh my God, I am not calling you a queen.
Oh my God.
Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm so awkward. I was like so embarrassed.
You could have just left it at, you just have Scott. I'm sure he didn't take it that way.
Paula, you never know. He's a very smart man. And it could have been innuendo. And I was like, you are not. And he is not. And I was like, you are not a queen. And he's like, bitch. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. I was like, I'm so awkward. Help me. I'm just like, I hate it. That'll be my awkward moment for the day. But I was just dying. So embarrassing. Oh, by the way, I did post my China boots onto social media.
Yeah,
so if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you will see them. And of course, our sister was like, you're an idiot.
Those things were so like, I don't even
They're horrible.
know.
And the thing is, I mean, when I took them out of the sad little box that they were in, I'm like, okay, well, they're ugly, but I can donate them or, whatever. But they're super big and the shaft of the boot is so tiny, like we talked about last week. But in the picture, it looks like, oh, those would fit. No, they don't. That's it. There's hardly any fabric on the other side by the zipper, the very large white zipper. They're just not wearable.
Well, and the color is just hideous.
Oh, Paula, it's not even real material. I don't even know what it is. It's not leather. That's for sure. I told Daryl, I said, it looks like brown paper bag.
Is it like a suede or?
No, it is not. It is not natural. I don't know what it is. Is it
trying to be a suede or like a nubuck or something like that? Or
it is absolutely man-made materials. There's not one iota of natural fiber on that thing. I don't know what kind of material it is. I don't even know, how do you make fake suede, but that's what it is.
I'm trying to think like what you would use.
I don't know, but it is not. It feels like paper. It feels like paper.
Maybe
honestly.
It is. Maybe it's just, like
we can always dip it in water, and I'm sure they're highly flammable.
Unprocessed paper.
Yeah, I'm sure they would light on fire. You probably use it for a fire.
Yeah, you don't want to like put your feet up next to a fire pit and catch your legs on fire.
Oh my God. Yeah. So anyway, if you're interested to see what I thought I was getting versus what I actually received, look at them and see me learn my lesson. And what's funny is we had a listener actually post a picture. She did the same thing. Her daughter found a really cute prom dress.
I saw the dress.
They ordered it online and it came and it looked like a long white sheet of plastic.
It looked like a slip with like, the
plastic lace.
Like the sheerest, I don't even know what it was.
It was very weird. I mean,
it looked like those nets that sometimes bananas come in, you know?
Yes,
except it was like white.
Was.
And then I had these little tiny like sad flowers,
It was very unsettling, and I'm so glad she shared it. And obviously I had somebody else said, oh yeah, I've learned that lesson. I'm like, Pixar, it didn't happen. I want to see your China gear.
I know, we should do that.
Seriously.
Like, well, if it even exists, but
well, I know that
I've seen galleries of them before.
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely. And mine is a minor infraction compared to what some people have received.
Well, yours actually looked new. It didn't.
Yeah, they were not used.
They were actually a shape of some sort. If you go sometimes if you go onto Amazon and you look at like bad reviews, but there's a lot of them, and then you click on the pictures, and then you see people wearing the item.
Oh my God, it's so true.
That is so funny because they're just standing there staring in the mirror, and they're just like a big frump.
They're like, look at me. Just look at it. Look at it.
And then they compare it to whatever, it said. It was like, they got the model like, all situated and sultry. And then the lady looks like she's just wearing a big green sock.
Amazon is very hit and miss with their clothes and stuff. You have to be real careful because
as long as it's Prime, it's okay. If it's not usually Prime and it's like free shipping, but then you look at it won't arrive for like 30 days, then you got to be careful.
You're like, I don't know what this is. Yeah. One time I ordered some shampoo from a high-end brand and it was on Amazon. It was really cheap. I'm like, oh, sweet. So I ordered it and I got it and I was like, this is literally Suave conditioner. Like, it's not even real.
I wouldn't put it in my hair. What if it was Nair? I'm just saying.
That was my thing. And I knew it because you know how cheap shampoos on the rim of a bottle, it turns orange.
Oh, God.
Like it gets brown from being old.
Yeah.
Well, high-end shampoos don't do that. This one absolutely did. I'm like, this smells nothing like the stuff that I bought. So I'm like, well, that's what I get. See, again, trying to cheap out, trying to find the loop. There is no loophole. You get what you pay for. End of discussion.
There's other things you can cheap out on, but certain things you can't.
I don't cheap out on mayonnaise or toilet paper, and will never cheap out again. If I want a high-end shampoo, I will pay the price if I want it.
I need to find a different shampoo. I'm using, I think it's Herbal Essence, but the reason why I got it is because it was the only one I could find that was sulfate free. Because that's what my hairstylist said to use because my hair gets so greasy so fast. Anyways, the only reason why I don't like the shampoo is because I don't like the way it smells. It smells organic-y.
You have a smell thing.
I do. I'm just like Mom.
Like you'll never ever in a million years go to a vitamin store.
No, I can't. It just smells like that. It just smells like I put my nose in a bottle of like
vitamins,
yellow oblong vitamins.
I took your daughter to the vitamin store over the summer. Walked in. She's like, she smelled like she's got it too.
Like curious.
This is an interesting odor.
Bel Air by my house, they have this display of candles. It is so freaking fragrant though. They're like square.
Paula, those are soaps.
Oh, is that what they are?
We have them too. And they've been there. And it was funny because I told Daryl, I said, we turned to each other because he loves to go everywhere with me.
Yes.
And so I turned to each other. I go, God, they still have that fucking soap display up. And they smell so bad. And like, it's a very strong odor and it's not pleasant.
Well, usually they're by the wine section. But last night when we went in to get like milk and stuff, it was like right next to the plant section, which is right at the entrance. And so I walked in and like, I was breathing normally because I wasn't planning on anything being concerned. There. Yes. And it was there, and all of a sudden I was like,
you were
and
assaulted.
I had to blow. That's what I told Red. I'm like, I was nasally assaulted.
Yes. So. That is so funny that you mentioned that because last time we were at the store. Okay. Well, next time I'll tell you about when Daryl got his eyes dilated because it was a whole thing. But anyway, we're at the store and the stupid soap display's been up since like the fall. And I thought they would get rid of it at Christmas. Like, these are great Christmas gifts or whatever. But no, it's still there.
They've been there for like 2 years. And I'm like, are these the same ones? I said, you'd think they'd lose their odor.
I turned to him and I said, I want to ask the checker. I'm like, we should just ask her, why that soap display? It's still fucking up and those things smell so bad. And I said, but I'm going to do that. He's like, oh yeah, those are my mom's or something. And so it'll be totally horrible. So we're not going to say anything about it. But it's like, I want to kick that stand over and just get rid of it. It's so awful.
Maybe I'll just buy them all and then just throw them away.
Throw them away in the garbage. So I don't have to
deal with it when I go.
You know what? That is an option. They can't be that expensive.
They probably are. It's probably like freaking $10 for a little square.
I'll go over there and I'll have Daryl, I'll have him create an interference and I'll go over there and I'll just throw him in a bag and run out and just dump him in the sea or dump him in the river next door.
If you touch them, you'll never get that smell out of your fingers.
The odor will never leave me. The balsam or whatever will never leave.
I can't even pinpoint what that odor is. Like it
is a horrible smell.
It's not even human. It's
not.
But it's not synthetic either. It's just I don't know. Is it like a perfumey dye or
it's like a patchouli essential oil. It is so gross. Essential oils are very pungent and I'm assuming that's what these are.
It's like soap on crack. It's
yes. It's way too much. And why would you ever put that on your body?
Well, not just that, but they have like 50 of them on display. And I'm like, why do you need so many?
Anyway, that's it. But yes, I agree with you on the soap and your smell issue. It's insane.
Well, I feel like Mom, because every time, it doesn't matter where I go. Every time I walk into some sort of establishment, I'm like, what's that smell? You know, and it could be pleasant. It could be bad. It could be weird. It could just be anything. I always have to note that there is some kind of odor and it's unidentifiable. And I'm just like, I hate that because I always remember Mom walking in and instantly clenching her nostrils. And I'm just like, I don't want to be that person, especially with a nose like mine.
Well,
I don't want people to think that because my nose is big, it's enhanced, like a bloodhound. It's not how it works.
What's that movie where the guy has a really big nose? And
Roxanne.
Yes. That's you. No,
I'm Charlie.
I was going to tell you a story at Disneyland. The last time we went there a couple of months ago, and there's a section in front of the castle, and there's a section where every time we would walk by, I would loudly declare, "It smells like vomit right here," and it was strong. And I'm like, where's the puke and why am I smelling it?
Oh,
like,
God.
This is ridiculous.
There a trash can or was it on the floor? Or...
I scanned the area. I didn't want to find it. I just wanted to know where the odor was coming from. Okay, so then it would happen. It happened in another part of the park. And I said, are we following a sick person? Like, what is going on? I was like out of my mind.
Did you step in it?
No. Then we were on our way to the castle to do a quick selfie. And I smelled it again. And it was the popcorn machine and the oil mixed with churro. The smell of churro and popcorn oil combined smelled like puke to me. And of course, I asked him, I'm like, you don't smell it? He goes, I smell popcorn. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like,
I know.
It is absolutely revolting. And that the fact that nobody else has mentioned this hideous smell. And so I said, oh my God, those two things should not be together here. It is bad. It is
I am the same way. Like, I am usually like horrified at some sort of odor, and the rest of my family is looking at me like I'm nuts. And I'm just like, I don't know how you people don't smell that, And I'm just like, what's wrong with your noses? Kickstart the engine and start sniffing around here,
Anyway, I think that's it for me.
Well, the only thing I have is Olivia's still selling Girl Scout cookies online. It was payday. So if you want to go to our Facebook page, and our link or her link to the Girl Scout cookies is still there. She'd appreciate your patronage.
So we'll check the tally next week and see where we're at.
Yeah, I'm looking at her compared to some of her other people.
Are we winning?
So far, she's in the lead.
Yes. Let's keep it up. We gotta win. We gotta win this race.
She's in the top sellers.
Fucking A! Girl Scouts. Oh yeah.
Well, this is, I think, for online. I don't know how many total.
Who cares? It's amazing. I'm so excited.
Yes. So
she'll be so happy to hear that she's doing well.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Unfortunately, Valentine's Day is coming up. So please head over to Amazon.com. Actually, go to uglytruth.com, click on the Amazon button, and peruse what they have for Valentine's Day, for that someone special in your life, or that obligatory gift that you have to get. And then lipandclip.com. They've actually changed some of their makeup, so you might want to check it out.
I was going to tell you, and we can talk about this maybe on the next little carnival or something, as far as lipandclip.com. I bought the new Monopop palette.
I saw that. I saw the picture.
I'll give you a review.
Perfect.
On the little carnival, the next little carnival we're going to recap Sister Wives. And so I will tell you, and in that, I will give you the review on the Monopop.
Yes, and then on Wednesday, we will talk about, because we don't know the results yet because we're recording before the fight, but next Wednesday, we will talk about the Cerrone McGregor fight and how that all went down.
Yes, I'm excited.
I am excited too. So other than that, have a fabulous rest of your weekend, and we will see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.